Hard R fans, Hollywood's fans, this is for you right here. What the hell are you doing in Hollywood? The undisputed champion of Black Wrestling Podcasting, the Hard R.
The Hard R
Wrestling Podcast. Acknowledge me if you smell the Hard R Wrestling Podcast is cooking. Yeah, it's my favorite part. Now starting off horrible. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, the Hard Art Wrestling Podcast proudly brings to you episode 29.
Hey, look, that close up, man. I was looking at the curls this time, D-Lo.
Oh, what happened to the curls? What'd you do with the curls?
I got it gelled up a little bit. I got it gelled up for y'all.
Yeah, you gotta
D-Lo
zoom in on it. You gotta
D-Lo out here with the Hawaiian silky.
His rating shot up as soon as you had the curls. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta bring the curls back. The ladies
Short hair version of Troy Polamalu out this bit.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a chipper mood. It is Black History Month. Yeah.
Shout out to Cody.
Assalamu salam. And a lot of things are happening. We are going to feature this month we're going to spotlight various African American Black wrestlers during this month because that's what we do. You know, that's kind of why we're in business right now. And so, you know, we're going to be doing that, celebrating Black History Month. Another thing I'm kind of excited about, because I never get excited about these things because they bullshit. But the Grammys are coming on today. I don't like to spotlight other shit, but they're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. And Missy Elliott, P-Town's own, is going to be. Is she going to be getting an award, something like that? The Woo.
Speaking of The Rock.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of The Rock.
That
former bodyguard talking a whole lot about the royal hip hop couple.
Who? Shug
and Diddy.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah, Diddy. He talking about Diddy too.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
There's a lot of that. Jaguar Wright. I don't know if you guys remember her, but she was a singer. She's spilling all type of tea about everything. I don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
In particular, I think maybe 20% of it, if it's true. I know. It's just like everybody's
ruined Carrie Hilson, man.
Oh,
well,
they ruined Carrie Hilson.
Beyonce
Miss
did.
Carrie,
and she was my chick. Yeah, and she was my chick, boy. God dang. That movie, Almost Christmas. Oh my God.
You're just sexually attracted to her. Jesus, calm down.
I know, I love her music too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And she wrote a whole bunch of hits.
Yeah.
I mean,
can I tell you real quick who I
and real quick, wrestling related, she had a small cameo in a movie with Batista.
Really?
Yes, Riddick.
Hey.
What? She was in
that? Yes. The last Riddick movie, not Chronicles of Riddick, Riddick, the one when he was stranded on the planet by himself.
Yeah.
If you remember when when the first set of bounty hunters came that Batista was with, she was like a prisoner, and they was like, "Go ahead and go." And she tried, and she ran away, and he shot, and the dude like shot her from a distance. That was Carrie Hilson. Yes, so that's wrestling. Yeah. So Jason said earlier at the top of the show that we are going to be doing this Black History Month, and we're going to rotate. I guess it's 4 of us, so this is the first weekend of wrestler in Black history. Oh, there it is, right there. So my wrestler of Black history that I'm going to debut.
In the vortex. Can you see it?
I know. Hold on, it's coming out to pop up.
Okay.
It's going to be this gentleman right here. Can y'all see?
Oh shit. That's a lot of thighs.
This on the back.
This gentleman right here is Sweet Daddy Siki. Sweet Daddy Siki.
I thought that was Coco Beware before WWF.
I know that's what I thought it was at first too, but that sounds like a
Biggie
character
Langston
on Good Times.
Sweet Daddy Siki. So let me give y'all a little history real quick on Sweet Daddy Siki. Reginald Siki was born June 16th, 1940 in Montgomery, Texas. He moved to Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 61, a few years after making his wrestling debut in 55. As he said, it was the central location for traveling around North Carolina during his wrestling career. All right, Sweet Daddy Siki. Bam, another picture of Siki.
Oh,
Siki
that's a beautiful man right there.
Siki was a top draw in Canada in the 60s and 70s, often appearing in Stampede Wrestling, Maple Leaf Wrestling, and the NWA. At the time, he was earning, and like I said, you got to remember the time this was, $3,000 a match.
Okay, that was a lot of money back then. That's like $3 million.
$3,000 a match. This is during the 60s and 70s.
This was when?
60s and 70s. So at his peak, Siki was a main card attraction at Maple Leaf Garden and drew fans by the busloads. He made his Maple Leaf Gardens debut in 62 and wrestled there until 1980. During the time of segregated wrestling, when Bobo Brazil and Bearcat Wright, we know Bearcat Wright because they tried to make Keith Lee his name Bearcat. Bearcat Wright were the top black stars. Siki wanted to stand out and decided he didn't want to only face black wrestlers. NWA World Champion at the time risked his career and life to offer to face Siki in the NWA Championship match. During the match, making Siki the first black wrestler to challenge for the NWA World Championship. Only one kick was thrown before the match was waived as the Triple K surrounded the ring, threatening both wrestlers.
Triple K. It's not like
you know who I'm talking
about. Oh, Jesus.
Those punk bitches.
I thought it was a Triple Cage. I was like, damn, they had that back in the day?
Oh my God! All right,
tight ass name for a group.
So adored by many Canadians in his heyday. You ready for this? Hold on, let me see that. Oh, see, that's Siki again. You know he was the Negro champion. You ready for this?
Oh, that's wonderful.
A former current WWE Hall of Famer says this was his favorite wrestler of all time. Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, Bret, man, Bret is for the people.
Bret Hart says Siki was
the people.
Siki was his favorite wrestler of all time. But like I said, Sweet Daddy Siki, and he also trained another WWE Hall of Famer, Edge.
Really?
Wow.
Yes, Sweet
was
Daddy
he based in Montreal or Canada?
Yeah, he was in Canada. Yes.
Okay.
So he trained
he must have trained Christian too.
He even appeared on SmackDown for Edge's Appreciation Night in 2011. His flamboyant style and ever eye-catching sunglasses was an influence on Edge and Christian's infamous 5-second pose. So they got that from Siki.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Siki has wrestled across the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, and Trinidad. Siki is also a successful country western singer and also hosts karaoke night in Toronto. Siki was inducted into
Siki?
I
said, okay, Siki.
Sweet Daddy. Don't disrespect him. Sweet Daddy.
Sweet Daddy.
And Siki was inducted into the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2016. Sweet Daddy Siki, we salute you. Sweet Daddy Siki, we respect you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Black History Wrestling moment of the week. Shout out to Sweet Daddy Siki.
Hey, that's some real shit.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That's
real
shit.
Yeah. So do you want me to do the other thing too, Jason? While I'm here, you want to say that to the end? The other
let's save that to the end.
Okay.
Let's just
So that was my Black History Wrestling moment for the week. So next week I'm going to throw it to Bunch of Munch. It's on you, baby, for next week.
Okay.
I didn't have my hand up because I was volunteering. I was like saluting.
He was like, "Yeah, damn."
Hold on. Damn.
when black empowerment goes wrong.
Yeah, no. So I this is something I came up with. I thought about with Jason, and I brought it up into the chat, whatever, mainly because everyone knows the typical black wrestlers that are known. Of course, The Rock, Ron Simmons, Coco. What I'm saying, even though he's not black, he was very black. Dusty Rhodes. Let me stop. Dusty Rhodes,
black adjacent, like let's
black adjacent stuff. So I just wanted to highlight someone, just highlight someone who doesn't really, a lot of the general public wrestling fans really don't know. But Sweet Daddy Siki, as I told you, was like that dude, and the fact that he was Bret Hart's favorite wrestler. Let you know, and as well, like even I saw a thing one time where Edge and I knew about Edge, him and Edge, Edge was like, yeah, I trained at Siki's. Yeah, and I was like, Siki. And the first time I heard, I was like, oh, who's Sweet Daddy Siki? And I looked it up. I was like, oh, snap, that's who trained Edge. Yeah. And I think Christian might have came along a little bit later, but yeah, Sweet Daddy Siki. Moment in Black history, wrestling moment.
Thank you, Monday.
This is why we are so dope. We got the franchise really giving us a lesson and everyone else a lesson. So y'all should watch the Hard R just for stuff like this, man.
Yeah. Man, I agree. Well, we talked about a little bit about the past. Let's talk about the future. I, for the first time in a year, watched a NXT pay-per-view. Did any of you get a chance to look at it? Vengeance was.
Well, we know why Jason watched it because of his man crush was a part of it.
He's so dreamy.
Jason doesn't watch NXT. He watches Mellow XT. That's what he watches. Right, Carmelo XT.
Carmelo and
Mellow XXX.
Not gonna lie, I forgot about it, so I caught a little bit of it or what.
Yeah, I watched it earlier today. Honestly, I usually don't watch NXT. I'm sorry, because
if I watch anything,
I'm gonna watch a little bit more.
If I watch anything with XT, I make sure I watch their pay-per-view shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're so I'm on board and looking at that pay-per-view.
I don't have the time.
Bruh, there was a match with
I work on the weekends.
He's Dijak, the
Russian dude. I saw a clip on Instagram.
That was Dijak Djokovic.
Dijak, thank you.
Dijak, yeah.
He had a match with Wes Lee.
Yeah.
Fucking dope.
Yeah.
He actually broke his hand in the match. I don't know if you guys seen that on. It's like.
No, I've seen the clip when the dude tried to power bomb him, and he, Huna Karana, and
that was sick.
Power bomb off the ropes. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was the first, which I love that they do. They got it from AEW, but they put the killer match. Bruh, watch that match. I mean, both guys really impressed me, and I'm not familiar with Wesley at all, but he's dope. Yeah. He's
so Dijak can go, and he can go too.
Yeah,
he had some classic matches with Keith Lee in his early run in AEW before they ruined him when they sent to the damn WWE for the NXT when they ruined him when WWE moved him up to the main roster and put him a part of Retribution and had him wearing those dumbass masks and stuff like that. And for people that's not familiar with Wes Lee, he was a part of the tag team MSK. Had a whole lot of they was rising up the rankings and everything because they was known independently and rise to the rankings, and then tag team partner became problematic. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And and a lot of people was nervous about what's going to happen with Wes Lee or what that, and he, he's starting to cut out a nice little, singles career for himself.
Yo, that boy good. That boy good. Like I'm a fan. It was a really good pay-per-view, of course.
Yeah.
The man that don't miss, the man of the hour, Carmelo. Wrestled against Apollo Crews. Really good match. I think it was 60 man. It doesn't matter. It was a really good match. Both. But interesting thing happened towards the end. Braun Breaker beat Grayson Waller. I didn't get a chance to watch that match.
Not gonna lie, I'm surprised at that outcome.
Really? Well, now I'm not, because at the end of the match,
Right.
it was a little bit, but then at the end of the match, Carmelo came out and kind of stared down Bron. So that's interesting. I think both of them are ready for the big time, but maybe they're just trying to keep them on NXT because they are holding NXT together. Just really them two alone, and a couple other talents too, but they're the main focus of the show. So I don't know if NXT could survive the two of them leaving, but man, both of those guys can go, man. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah. And the reason I say I'm surprised is because I was thinking, because normally at WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, that's when NXT do their, what I like to call their graduation, where they have people move up to the main roster. And I thought that it was time for Braun Breaker, to move up away from NXT. He's been world champion there for like a year and a half, a year or so, like that.
Yeah, he's gonna lose it soon.
And then I thought too, like, all right, yeah, so this is a good way to kind of get the first match out the way with him and Grayson Waller, and then you see where he tries to Grayson Waller like, I want a rematch, and they have a rematch at the the NXT WrestleMania show. He loses, and that's his farewell match. And I also was thinking too that Melo was eventually going to move up as well, but I guess they want to keep Melo in NXT just a little bit, a little bit longer, because they need, I guess, they want to have that main star power. So I'm cool with it. So cool.
Yeah. Same here.
And, I mean,
go ahead, Bunch. Hollywood.
No, I was gonna say it'd be better to put the belt on him before he hits the main roster. If you're gonna
give him that shine,
you're gonna really showcase him.
Yeah. But Carmelo's both of them are super young. Mid-20s. So they got time, but I think they're both ready. Moving over to WWE. The main thing that's going on over there.
I mean, you can segue into the. You can segue into the indies, them working the indie shows. That's perfect.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. WWE is now letting NXT stars go to the indies, like AEW has been doing, the entire time. What do you guys think about that? That was big news this week.
I'll just say I think that's a great thing, because it steals because all the guys that's in NXT, most of them who don't come through that little program they got, WWE program, most of them come from the indies, allowing people, especially people who just are WWE grown, they didn't do anything, do the indies as well. It helps them get a little credibility, and also lets them go out. I ain't gonna say credibility, gives them credibility with hardcore wrestling fans, as well, and they get to see another style and not just the WWE way. And I think that's a problem with some things, and especially like that with some of the WWE homegrown, is they've only known the WWE way. Just like there are some fans who only watch WWE wrestling, all they do is the WWE ways. It lets them see other ways of doing things. So just call them like it is. So
I would say one thing, working the indies, you get to see wrestlers how they. It's more smaller, more intimate, where the wrestlers get to interact more with the crowd, and it's different, So like you go there, you think your gimmick is good or whatever, and then these people gonna let you know exactly what they think of your gimmick,
right?
And if you ain't, like ready for that, then it's gonna show. So I like the fact that they actually get out of their comfort zone and go and work these shows and see how some of these lesser known people or performers, I ain't gonna say people, performers, work these shows and really get better with their gimmick. Because watching these performers, like I used to heckle the hell, like when I went to the indie shows, I used to heckle the hell out of them people, man, and they love me for it. But it made them better. It really made them better, But it's only a good thing, though.
You know what else?
I kind of talked in circles, but
you know what else too? It lets them appreciate what they have being in the WWE as well, considering, you know, all indies ain't created the same, to say, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. Some indie shops are like
Bingo
you be
halls.
like you know, that could be a jab, but there's some of the best matches come from it. But you see, like, they don't have like great shower rooms, great facilities. You know, they're in high school gyms putting on shows and stuff like that. You got to realize, like, and I can understand
centers and shit.
Rec centers, you got to understand too, like Triple H, you know, and Shawn Michaels and them, they went through the indies, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, just like Kevin Owens and all them. That's why they are like really so beloved, because people saw them have to go through that situation. And even with the older wrestlers, some of them didn't really, it wasn't the indies, it was just territories, you know what I'm saying, the different territories. So the indies became kind of a thing more from, I'll say, the 90s up until the mid 2000s, where it was like, that's where the bulk of your talent kind of, you know what I'm saying, some of the best wrestlers you had grew to where they are right now.
Yeah, and it's like more, it's like a credibility thing.
There you go. Third time's charm.
Because you're actually paying. I know, man. I'm just all jacked up today, but
no, it's all good.
It's like you're paying your dues. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole respect thing is you paying your dues. You coming up and you're actually going through that process instead of like somebody come into your job and they just they get the promotion, but they came from another company, and you like the workers like, dang, I've been working here for, you know, God knows how long. I deserve that promotion. You know,
right?
You actually get to see a person grow when they are in the my God, you shut the fuck up.
I'm so confused. What just happened?
What just happened here?
What just happened? Like your phone was going in and out, and then...
I can't talk. I keep stumbling on my words, man. I'm tired. I keep stumbling on my words.
Who cares? But everybody stumbles on words. Just keep going. You got it.
I care. But it's just like
go ahead.
It's just like you're paying your dues, man.
Yeah.
Paying your dues.
I'm gonna take a wait to see approach on this, because with WWE there's always an angle to it. Because with NXT UK, it was just them trying to branch out to the United Kingdom or Europe or whatever, and they took all of the best British wrestlers. They signed them from the British wrestling companies that were over there. So I feel like there's an angle being worked on here somehow, because I think the only wrestler they've announced has been, like, I forgot what her name was, but she's going to Booker T's promotion to wrestle like a couple of matches. Is
that the girl that he trained, Roxy?
It might be. So I feel like it's probably going to be one of those things where they just kind of send them where they know, and not like, because when I think indies, I think ROH, but ROH is owned by Tony Khan now. Like,
right?
Where are they going to go? They're not going to go to what's that promotion that Moxley goes to all the time?
CZM or something like
Combat
that.
I highly doubt they go to Combat. Or else is it MLW too?
MLW or GCW.
That's the one I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
GCW. Yeah. I mean, maybe they send him there, but I doubt it. Like, you know, we'll see what happens. I go back and forth. Like, I want to say it's a good idea for all the reasons that Hollywood. And
well, I mean,
Tony
it's
Franchise
be a work in
said.
progress.
Yeah.
By the way,
I don't know if you. Go ahead.
What does it say about NXT's training that they got to send other wrestlers to get better?
Because isn't that the whole point of NXT initially, before they made it all Hollywood and put it on USA Net, was like we're going to make our own indies promotion here, have the same feel. Plus, one of the benefits of just having it in NXT is that you don't have to deal with janky promoters who may or may not pay you. Yeah. And if you have a star who's on the rise in NXT, why risk them going to Papa Bofuck's, bingo hall, in all due respect to the indie promoters, because some are better than others, like the more shitty ones. Like,
Jason,
why risk
what's
them
your beef with bingo halls, Jason?
No, I'm just kidding. It's Jerry Lawler. He's playing in my head.
I mean, it's a way to control the narrative, you know.
Yeah.
It is a way to control the narrative.
I'm gonna I think what it is too is this. I think because before NXT, WWE had a deal with OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, and that's where Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy, they all came. Right. They all came through. They all came through there, and then they left their relationship with OVW, and then they went with Florida Championship, FCW, and that's where Roman and Moxley and Bray Wyatt and all of them came through there. I think what basically is going to be, it's not necessarily going to be indies in the way that we think of it, and that thing I think is going to be partnerships with certain organizations. It's like WWE had a partnership with Evolve Wrestling. Evolve is where they got Keith Lee, Riddle, and stuff, and then eventually WWE bought Evolve, and Evolve shut down.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying.
Point. Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be like you ain't gonna see nobody. I think WWE going to PGW, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, out in California. That's for the Young Bucks, little jank or whatever. I think it's mainly going to be companies, smaller companies that are WWE adjacent, where there's probably some WWE people involved, like Booker T's promotion. I don't know if Shawn Michaels still has his with his school, his little small school and stuff like that.
Bryant,
you know, and stuff like that. Probably do some stuff with the Samoans, you know, wrestling little organization. So they're going to be affiliated with people that they know. It's not going to be like you know what I'm saying, us four right here create hard R wrestling championship wrestling or something like that. They're gonna be dealing with us. So
I don't know. If I were these indie promoters, I would just think like, what indie promotion has ever benefited long term from affiliation with the WWE?
Yeah, long term, no.
ECW,
no.
Ohio Valley Wrestling. None of these places are around anymore. So I get it, because it's like one of those things, damn you do, damn you don't. Because if you're not affiliated with them, certain wrestlers that people know and will bring you business are going to come there. But then it's just like they're going to eventually buy you out like they've done everybody else.
But different leadership. Like if we think Triple H is really in charge, is he going to be different than Vince? Because, you know, Vince is just going to try to suck everything in and make it his. You know what I'm saying? Triple H might be more of the type, I'm a develop relationships with these people, and actually, you know, we all benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? So it could be different.
I think he's the same as Vince. He's just nicer about it, because NXT
he'll stab you from the front, not the back.
Right. NXT UK was his thing, and that's where he signed Walter, Pete Dunne. He signed all the best European wrestlers, and that essentially shut down
that scene is
the British
dead
wrestling scene. And he's trying to expand NXT to Germany, I think, Japan,
Africa at one time. He was thinking about it.
So he's trying to do this stuff. Like I'm saying, there's probably an
and they do have it in India as well. You know, so they got like a WWE training center in India and stuff.
Right.
I think the only organization, and they're not independent, but they're just not known, is I think he's trying to develop relationship with the Japanese organizations, hence allowing Shinsuke wrestling Muda at, you know what I'm saying, at his shows and stuff like that. I think because as we already know, like New Japan has association with AEW, and I think WWE sees that and they missed out on that. Like I don't understand why WWE and New Japan never worked, and I think that was just a Vince thing. But I think you see that, and Triple H knows that the wrestling audience is smarter than what Vince McMahon thought we all were. So I think he's trying to find like the other major Japanese promotions like All Japan and Noah, and try to get the chance to work with them so we can do some like wrestling exchange type program, because the Japanese hard style wrestling has become so popular, more mainstream on the US side within the last 10 years or so, you know. So
and they're actual like competitor that's been around forever. You know, like they're like cockroaches. Like they're never, you know, they've been around forever. I don't think they're going.
New Japan been around since the 70s, man, and I mean
they're not going anywhere. So I mean, it makes sense for both sides. I think that's a mutually beneficial relationship. With the indies, I don't think so, but with them, I think it'll be beneficial to both parties.
It may not even happen if WWE gets sold in a few months, like they're saying.
You know what? I'm so glad.
Transition.
I want to stay with that. Thank you for bringing that up. So
Transition.
Nick Khan, boom. See what he did there. Nick Khan has said recently that he expects the WWE to be sold within 3 months. There's a lot there. So we could just get started on it. A lot of people are saying so far, as far as what they said publicly, is that Vince McMahon is not in Gorilla. He's not calling the shows. He's not in the writing room. It's a total thing, a Triple H production. I guess the first question I'll throw out to y'all is: do y'all think that's true? Do y'all think that Vince McMahon has any say right now on the product that you see, like as far as the writing, matches, all that good stuff?
I don't think so. I think I forgot who said it. Maybe it was I'm gonna mention his name, Cornette again, or it was somebody that said he doesn't really have to be in creative to influence like the writing. He could just say like, hey, we're trying to sell this company. Why don't you do this instead of that, and it'll make our company look more what's the word I'm looking for?
Profitable or
appealing, more appealing to that company. Like, why don't you push Roman Reigns, or you know what I mean? Why don't you push Sami Zayn a little bit more because it's gonna look good for X company. So I don't think it's in creative, but
suggestive ideas. Yeah, suggestive ideas.
They said he wasn't in the WWE offices, and then I read about a week ago that he's back in his office. So,
so is he like steadily creep? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the puppet master is getting the strings.
You know what Vince is? Vince is the dude who can't let it go.
Yeah,
he's the dude. You know what it was? He's the dude that like we all went to high school with, who was like, the star football player at high
and he
school.
shows up at the reunion with his jersey on.
Al Bundy.
Right. Football player. He's a star football player. And he comes back and be like, yo, you remember that game? He the quarterback. Yo, you remember that game I threw for 600 yards, man?
Like,
Boy, I had 8 touchdowns and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, I remember that performance, but yeah, that was
not really.
We were 15 and 16 with that shit. Like,
what have you done since then?
Like that, or else
watch
that dude,
old highlights.
Or else that dude who, Vince is, or else that dude who was a hellified basketball player, like in high school, and then even got to college and played in college, but he never got to the league. He went to college, played 4 years at like a small school and stuff like that. But then he goes back to like the rec center or the YMCA, going out there playing pickup game, and he going out there like,
nigga, give me the ball.
Talking on people,
going hard.
Everybody like, oh man, he still got it. Like,
and he start calling him Unc. He be like, hold up, Unc.
Stuff like that.
What you mean, Unc?
Vince is like, I think they have meetings and stuff, and Vince probably be like, pop in there and be like, so what's good? Or else he might show up and stuff, and he's just sitting there waiting for them.
Edge.
He's waiting for them to ask him, like, hey, Vince, so you're here. What I'm saying? Like,
what do you
your
think?
brain. What do you think about this? I can tell you right now, ain't no way in hell Vince McMahon has anything to do with Sami Zayn. Yeah, they go get it over like that. Sami Zayn, it's like it's an interview out right now with Sami Zayn and Ariel Helwani, and he's talking, and Sami Zayn is being real as hell. He was like talk and like he was just like, we didn't think this going. This is just an idea that I threw by them. Thought it was gonna be fun. I didn't think. He was like, I don't have the look that they want, because he said, do you think you can be WWE's long-term champion? He was like, I think I could be a champion. I don't think, like, he says, I don't have that look that say WWE doesn't have. He says like Cena, Rock, Roman. He says I look horrible without a shirt on and stuff like that. And he was just like, it's
which
just something
perfect, by the way.
I've connected to the fan base and stuff like that, like that. So he was like, I can be a champion, but I don't think I'm the person that they want to care to be.
Yeah, to carry.
Of course,
the banner holder for the company for the next 10 years.
To be the face of the company, yep.
Right, to be the face of the company for 10 years. Like Cena was the face of the company for damn near 20, almost 20 some odd years. And with Randy sprinkled in there and stuff like that. But Cena was the face, and now we've transitioned to Roman, what I'm saying, being the face of the company.
But the most popular champions, the people's champions, have been in that mold of Sammy, Daniel Bryan,
well, that's wrestling fans. We like who you tell us not to like.
Yeah,
that's who we are.
Even old school wise, like seriously, like I know people don't know this. People know this, but Dusty Rhodes is one of the most popular wrestlers of all time. Mm-hmm. And I look like Dusty Rhodes without no shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Dusty Rhodes' body is horrible, but the fans they relate to him. They relate to him. They love him and everything like that. Like, you're most unlikely looking people. And I think, back in the territory ways, they saw that. And that's how he became. He's a 3-time world champion, man. He beat Harley Race, one of the toughest motherfuckers to ever wrestle, and Ric Flair, to become world champion, along with the other titles and stuff like that. So you're gonna get you're unlikely people who the fans just love. Even Kofi isn't, the stereotypical look. The stereotypical look, like he's an in-shape guy and everything, but he don't have the stereotypical look.
Streaming.
Yeah, that Vince and them like it or whatever.
And that's got the little dent in it and everything.
Yeah, right.
We still hasn't been explained what the fuck that is. Like,
the running joke is that the Big Show gave him a handprint chop, and it never came back. The print never came back out. That was the funniest shit ever. But I think people like who they can relate to, and that's and
they like the underdog. People love the underdog, and WWE is really good at they say it's
I give you a perfect.
Really, they are manufacturing it a little bit.
Yeah, but I give you a perfect example. Even basketball wise, like Steph Curry. Steph Curry looks like us out there, like a normal dude out there playing basketball. And
like
little
6'3".
kids, he's 6', right? That's still tall, but he's like,
but not NBA tall.
But like, then you got a guy like LeBron who's like physically imposing, 6'8", 270,
like a linebacker.
Like
everybody's
like
cheering for Steph.
And like people are cheering, say people and kids are like saying like, oh, I can be that. I don't have to go out
there. They see themselves in him.
Right, yeah.
Because everybody can't look like The Rock. Most people don't look like The Rock. Most people in a lower.
Why do you always bring The Rock into this, man?
Because he's huge.
Let it go. Elsa, man. Let it go.
Ooh, let it go. Spicy in here, D-Lo, ain't it?
Spicy. Just a little bit.
Why turn to the damn Rock all the time?
Nah, so
let it go.
I don't.
You don't want to watching his show like a fangirl.
I do watch his show. I just started and it's pretty good. But I don't reference his ass every chance I get.
The Rock's show sucks.
Damn.
I've watched like 4 episodes.
It ain't The Rock. It's your damn
Nubian the first
white
season
queen.
Was pretty good though. I ain't gonna lie.
Liv Morgan, I love you. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
I like the show. Sorry.
But I think it sounds like we all agree that Vince isn't part of creative, because the Sami Zayn thing would have been over a long time ago if it were up to him.
Yeah.
But
they want to ruin it by making Cody. Like I like how they Triple H or whoever is kind of learning from the mistakes with the Bautista thing. With Daniel Bryan, that totally was not Bautista's fault. I feel so bad for him, but the fans did not want him. He won the Royal. Like
what was funny was when he came back. When he came back, though, everybody was here for it. Like, oh, the animal's back.
Yeah, everybody was here.
And then when
he was booked the right way,
right? And then like literally less than a month later, he's in the Royal Rumble and he wins it. The crowd is like, "This isn't what we wanted."
No,
you know what I'm saying?
We told you what we wanted.
And I'm gonna say this too, unpopular opinion.
Okay.
You know who also I think if there would have been people in the crowd, I think it would have been the same way when Edge won the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. I think it would have been the same way when Edge won the Royal Rumble two years ago. Sorry. I was just like when they gave it.
I don't think that's too unpopular.
Come on, man.
That's why they didn't put. That's why they didn't put Sammy in the Rumble, because they knew it would have been a fucking
mess.
Terrible.
I think
Sami
I
did
think
that
they're
wrong.
still going to be a mess. I think they gotta figure that out, man. Because I could see Cody versus Roman, just the crowd just taking over and just
I'm
start
telling
saying
you right
Sami.
now.
Yeah. They
This
better
is how
split
I.
it. They have to.
I'm a-
They have to
I-
split it.
I think it's too late for that.
I
Because
said
if they
in
would have,
another. Oh, go ahead, D-Lo. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I think if they would have split it, we would have, because the Elimination Chamber match, the men's one is for the U.S. title.
It's for the U.S.
So,
title. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like if they would have split it, they would have done it by now. But I don't think they're doing that.
I'm gonna tell you how they can. I put in the other chat how I think they can rectify it. And
I'm not in the other chat anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right
in
here.
the chat.
This is what I think they should do. What they should do, and I just think this would work. So you have the match with Sami and Roman at Elimination Chamber in Montreal or whatever, and you have it be the match is probably going to be really good. Have the match be good. Have it where Sami comes so close to winning the match, and Roman pulls it out and wins. And the crowd in Montreal is going to go fucking nuts and just boo F Roman and all this stuff like that. Find a way to make it where Sami don't have two matches, where it's a damn triple threat match with Cody, Roman, and Sami in the match together. And then by some weird ass shit, they've done this before in the past when it was just one title, where they both pin Roman at the same damn time. That's how you can split the titles up.
You can do that. The only problem is that if you put Sami in, they're just gonna want Sami.
Yeah.
Right. But I think
what might happen is they might start, which you don't want, is they start booing Cody. Like that's what you cannot want, because that's the guy that they want. That's the baby face that they actually want. And what you can have him, but you just got to have him on a different brand.
But also too, Cody is a heel. Cody is a heel. It's some good ass work too. I'm just saying.
That's coming.
I know they
yeah.
And
I don't think he's
heel ass.
I don't think he's gonna be heel.
He ain't gonna do it until he win the title. He's got to win the title. He wants to win the title for that feel good moment. He wants that feel good moment.
He wants to be that white meat baby face for the rest of the.
Which he is right now.
He wants to be that. But you know what? Maybe it's just me because I'm trying to hear it, or part of me wants to hear it. But I feel like there's like a little bit of booze when Cody comes out. It's not noticeable, or maybe it's just me looking into it. I feel like it's coming because.
Is saying that.
D-Lo, you know what they can do? The only thing the only thing they can do with Cody, they have to keep him away from anybody who's over. Period. He has to be just like he was against who did he wrestle? He wrestled Finn. He has to wrestle people that are hated.
Yeah.
And as
he
long
can't
as
wrestle
you keep
Seth
him with
again
people
either.
that are hated, no, he can't wrestle anybody with any kind of connection to the crowd.
That cool
he cannot.
heel or no, he's got.
But it's funny you say that because
Austin Theory would be a great guy too.
Cornette. I'm gonna mention his name, but Cornette, because I was listening to his review of the Rumble, the men's Rumble. He hated it. I don't think he even watched the women's one. But
of course, he hates women.
He don't like women wrestling.
He doesn't like women wrestling or women.
he said he made a good point that the people that Cody eliminated were people that the crowd wasn't going to boo, that he eliminated. He eliminated Dominic. He eliminated
great choice for them.
Gunther. Definitely. He eliminated someone else. Basically, like what he was saying, it was intentional on who he was eliminating. Because if he eliminated like Ricochet or even Seth Rollins, he might get booed a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was a beautifully orchestrated Royal Rumble. Like everything, I could tell what they wanted to do with it.
There were some people that was mad that he eliminated Gunther. There was a
he's
small.
He's not going to win though. Like that's stupid to be mad about that. Like that doesn't make sense. I would hate for that to happen in his career.
You know what? You know why? I think it does make sense. You have a lead up with damn Imperium and the Bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Like the head of the table and the ring general.
Yeah.
And people know Gunther is a bad motherfucker.
That's a
And people know
SummerSlam match.
Gunther
That's
is
not
a-
a WrestleMania match right now.
Do y'all think the bloodline is going to last after WrestleMania though? I think this story is wrapped. Like everything's wrapping up. I think Roman's going to go on a 3 or 6 month vacation after this. Like I think he's going to
When he
be gone
loses,
for a while.
he's going.
Yeah.
And going back to the sale, I think the sale is going to happen. I think after WrestleMania, they're going to make an announcement that it's happened. This is just the end of the era right here.
Okay, well, this is a thing that I don't know. I don't understand these names, but I keep hearing of companies that are interested, and then I hear a story. No, they're not interested. Disney's not interested.
That's just negotiation.
He's not interested.
Is
that real? Like, who's interested? Who's gonna?
I think
who's gonna buy them?
I'm telling you,
you're not gonna see it coming.
Yeah,
it's the Saudis.
So I say this. So like, for example, people don't. I work in media. I work in television. Work in TV stations and stuff like that. And all of y'all TV stations, local TV stations, whatever, are owned by owned by bigger companies or whatever. And bigger companies always buy up other TV stations and stuff like that. And it's a negotiation. It's a haggling. You hear names thrown out, just for you hear names come up to try to be like, oh, like Universal might be trying to buy NBC Universal, let's say, may be interested in this. You hear NBC Universal name come up, and then the company that owns ABC, ESPN, or whatever, that's Disney. And Disney's like, well, what do you mean NBC Universal? And then you start researching and all that. It's nothing but haggling. Same thing when the NFL or the NBA draft comes around.
Yeah,
like, well, I hear that, I hear that the Bears, because they got the number 1 pick, I hear the Bears, they might draft the quarterback Bryce Young from Alabama, and Justin Fields may be on the trade block, but they're not doing it. They're just trying to say that because they know there's quarterback hungry teams that's gonna give up like 8 damn picks to try to move up for that, and that's all they want is picks. So I think it's nothing but a haggling thing. But if it is the Saudis, that is a horrible thing.
That's a horrible. Well, and I want to add.
I think that deal was done. I think that deal was done, and somebody fucked up and leaked it. And once they leaked it, it was like, they saw the backlash and was like, nah, we can't do that.
It was either that or
which they have to be morons not to realize that was going to get backlash.
It was either that or they threw it out there as a soft thing just to see how people react to it.
People
and
react
was like, nope, we can't do this. Nuh-uh. So
I still think it's them because I think it was Nick Khan that was like, yeah, we want to sell in 3 months. Like the Saudis can just walk into the room and just be like, "Here's a briefcase full of cash." Like they got the cash, they got the liquid to do it.
We don't want the women. We'll take all the men.
They're gonna be like,
we'll take all the men.
Right. Take Liv Morgan with you. We'll throw an extra Billy to take Liv Morgan off your hands.
Oh my god. I would literally cry. Like we would have a whole show of just me crying.
No, because even like let's say like Elon Musk, even though he's a billionaire, I think he still took out loans to buy Twitter. Like it's not, I feel like all these TV companies, they may have the cash, but
I put like this.
The Saudis can just do a cash.
Let me add a little bit of fire to y'all argument. So for the fourth quarter revenue for WWE, $323 million just for the fourth quarter, and in 2022, the WWE made $1.3 billion. So I think there is a lot of haggling going on. It's obviously a very profitable, popular, controversial, contemporary company that is making so much fucking money right now. So
come on, Tony Khan, come through, baby.
The worst thing would be if NBC Universal buys it. Actually, it might make sense because they got Peacock and all that. But like, I grew up a WCW fan.
Yep.
Having a network own your wrestling is not the best way to go about things.
Ask WCW.
Right.
That worked out for them, and they couldn't have been made. Just imagine how much money somebody could be making off the WCW name, and just like if it wasn't tarnished by the WWE when they bought it and jobbed everybody out, how much money that would have been.
Everything.
Yeah. But they were a victim of that Time Warner merger. So
Vince, I got into the wrestling business. Congratulations, Ted. I'm in the entertainment business.
Billionaire Ted, brother.
Congratulations, pal.
No, I'm dead serious. Like, if you didn't know, that's exactly Ted Turner when he bought NWA WCW and he called Vince McMahon. Vince, just want to call you, let you know I'm in the wrestling business. I just bought WCW. He was like, well, congratulations, Ted. I'm in the wrestling. I'm in the sports entertainment business.
Vince made that shit up, by the way. I think. Vince always be like the narrative, the overall narrative between the two is always, I mean, the victor goes the spoils, but it's always told from WWE's perspective. But Monday, I think you had one thing to do as we wrap up this show. I can't remember what it was though.
Oh yes.
Yes.
This is something that I wanted to. Another thing I suggested in the group or whatever, where I think we should,
which I'm not a part of anymore.
Huh?
No,
yes, you are. You're in the new one.
In the main group.
Oh, the new one. Oh, okay.
Oh no, I gotta add you to that one. No.
Yeah, Jason's got to invite you back into it because I know you love it so much.
Yeah. Do you want to be a part?
I just like
it brings you so much hatred.
Boy of man, boy of man, and
oh god. So I think a thing that is like basically once again another thing where somebody pick what we call a classic match of the week. You know what I'm saying? So a match that we feel was just your personal. It don't have to be a classic to anybody else or anything like that. But for you think was a great match that people should check out and see like some good wrestling. So I'm going to give my first classic match of the week. All right. The year is 1990. The pay-per-view event is Halloween Havoc. I have said this match before, but I'm saying it again.
I think I know what it is.
If you have not seen this match, the Steiner Brothers versus the Nasty Boys.
Oh, okay.
Match is amazing.
Nasty Boys had a nice match.
Steiner Brothers versus the
Nasty Boys were pretty good before they got to WWE.
Yeah, before they got to WWE, they were good. So I'm not saying they weren't good at WWE, but the Nasty Boys versus the Steiner Brothers, Halloween Havoc 1990 for the U.S. Tag Team Championship. That match was... Go ahead.
Monday. How good was tag team wrestling back then when you had a U.S. title?
Let me listen, man. People don't understand.
As long as the world titles.
So I know people always talk about WWE tag team division with Demolition, Heart Foundation, the Rockers, the British Bulldogs. Let me explain to you. As good as they were, WCW NWA tag team division might ish on them just a little bit. They had so many tag teams that they had not just the NWA World Tag Team Championships. They had the NWA US Tag Team Championships. And again, one of my favorite belt designs, by the way, it was all red, gold, and it had USA written across it or whatever. Fantastic design. The Steiner Brothers had already been the World Tag Team Champions, and they put the US tag belts on them like a year and a half after losing it to Doom at the time, Black History Month.
Doom was badass, man.
And Doom was a badass team. And you could use that US tag team title to kind of help build up another team that's really good. Like teams that helped the US tag team titles that were great were, of course, like I said, the Steiner Brothers, the Midnight Express. That's how they really the second edition of the Midnight Express was Sweet Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton, with them having it. Yeah, the Fantastics back in the day had the belt.
The Russians.
The Russians. The Varsity Club, a great stable.
Mike Rotunda.
Tully and Arn, the Brain Busters.
Right. So the Varsity Club was a team where these guys like literally were like varsity Letterman jacket, Lettermans and colleges and all, and they came out wearing like the Letterman jacket of the college. Like Dr. Death was Oklahoma, Mike Rotunda Syracuse, Rick Steiner with the Michigan the Michigan jacket or whatever. So it was like you had these, they were the varsity club, which is a great gimmick, by the way, with that. So the tag team division of WCW NWA was very thick, but that match, it was the Steiner brothers versus the Nasty Boys. Guys, like if you have not seen it, if you get a chance, please check that match out. It was hard. It was hard hitting. It was, I mean, all types of crazy. I think that was where the Steiner brothers debuted their because they never had a tag team finishing move up until that point. It was either Rick did the belly to belly, or Scott did the creator of the Frankensteiner, aka the Hurricane Rana. The Frankensteiner was just nasty. They debuted the bulldog off the top rope, where Scott would put the dude on his shoulders like they about to do the Doomsday Device, and Rick came off the top with the bulldog. Oh my God, with the bulldog or whatever like that. So yeah, great match. 1990 Halloween Havoc. One of my favorite pay-per-views too, back in the day of all time, because they went all out, orange ring ropes, and they went for the whole Halloween design.
But then they got with the Doom against the
Horsemen. It was Doom, Ron Simmons, and Butch Reed versus Arn Anderson and Ric Flair. That was another great match that was on that card or whatever. But yeah, check it out, guys, please. The Nasty Boys versus the Steiner brothers. Classic match.
And you were mentioning Scott Steiner. If y'all go to YouTube or maybe on Twitter, but like Scott, before he went on steroids, he was a badass dude before steroids. He used to do this suplex. I forgot. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like he was doing a suplex, but turned it into a tombstone.
The Steiner driver.
Yeah.
Dude. Did he do that on No Mercy or like one of the games? I feel like
so good. I remember. Yeah.
Yo, he was hitting that on jobbers, bro. Like that was
little known fact. In 1993, when the Steiner brothers were in the WWF at the time, Vince wanted to put the world title on Scott.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to put he wanted to break the Steiner brothers up, and he wanted to put the world title on Scott. And Scott was like, no. He's like, no, I'm not. Me and my brother, we're a package deal. Like ladies and gentlemen, they are real brothers. They aren't kayfabe. You know what I'm saying, brother? Rick and Scott are real brothers. They really did go to University of Michigan. Scott Steiner, I know we are bad joke on Steiner math. He was like a mathematics major. And stuff like that. And they did graduate from the University of Michigan. So, yeah. Why are you laughing, Jason? You find it hard to believe, man?
That's incredible. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but people, please, Steiner Brothers versus the Nasty Boys, Halloween Havoc 1990.
Got it.
Check it out.
Awesome. Thank you. And that concludes our show. If you guys want to hit us up, you can hit us up on Twitter at Rassling Hard or IG at hard_R_Rassling, or on Facebook, Fans of the Federation, and several other platforms like YouTube, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and I think Spotify. All right. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Holla!
City of Squalor.